In this particular video, we're going to take a look at the process for changing calibers between two pistol calibers with different primer sizes. So we're starting off with a 45 ACP setup, and we're going to change calibers so that we can load 38 Special or 357 Magnum, depending on how we got our dies set. So I'm going to start by removing our powder check system, and we're just going to loosen the clamp here. We can still leave the set screw attached, and then we're just going to lift this assembly off the press. Then I'm going to cup my hand under where the cases are inserted into the case inserter. So what I'm going to do is just feed these brass, and I need to turn the case feeder off so that I can empty the drop tube of brass. Next, I'm going to step up here on a step ladder, just makes that process easier. Remove the case feed plate, and then I can more easily grab the shell casing out of the case feeder. And then we're going to put our case feed plate back in. We're just going to work our way down the press. So the next thing I'm going to do is going to be to remove the powder measure. And the first step in removing the powder measure is to remove the rod from the powder measure assembly. So I'm going to lift the press slightly and then just rotate the rod right out of the powder measure. Next, at the base of the powder measure, I've got two Allen screws which secure the clamp which steadies the powder measure in place when we're using it. So with an Allen key, I'm going to back these Allen screws out to a generous degree because I'm going to need to move that clamp forward a ways so that it will clear the ridge on the powder die that we have installed in the press. So when I pull that forward sufficiently, I can just lift the whole powder measure right off the press. I've made myself this Dillon XL-650 accessory rack out of an old scrap of 4x4 wood post. And I also machined a Dillon plastic holder for the powder measure. So now the powder measure can sit there while we're working on the rest of the press, ready to go back into the new tool head when we get that installed. Next, we can remove the tool head assembly, and this is the tool head that we have installed for 45 ACP. So when we take the two locating pins out, the whole tool head just slides right out. Next, we'll remove the drop tube, which we can just pull forward and pull up. Next, we'll take off the caliber specific case feed parts. So we've got the drop tube adapter. We're going to put that in our caliber conversion box, and then we've got the pivot block insert, and if you just stick your finger in there, that'll come off nice and easy. So next we're going to take the parts from our 38 357 caliber conversion kit and put them in place. So following that, we can put the end of our drop tube back in, snap it into place, and we're good to go on the top. Next, we need to remove the sleeve that actually drops the tube into the case inserter. And so here we've got the insert that comes with the 45 ACP caliber conversion kit. And we'll then take the insert that came with our 38 357 kit, carefully thread that in on the bottom. And then we've got this Allen key that we're going to just put through the hole there to snug it up so that it doesn't come loose. Okay, so next we're going to remove the shell plate. So we'll put the ram in the highest position. We will get our Allen screw in the shell plate set screw, which locks in the adjustment of the shell plate tension. And then we can use an Allen key to loosen the bolt that secures the shell plate. And actually you don't usually need an Allen key there because the set screw holds it tight and you don't need much tension to keep the shell plate snug against the subplate. That's one feature I like about the Dillon, is that you can adjust that tension and the corresponding friction when the shell plate rotates. We've got our ejector wire. We're going to take that off, put that aside, and then we can just lift off the shell plate, careful to keep the detent ball in place. Finally, we will remove our locator buttons and put those in the caliber conversion kit box. Next, we can raise the ram so that our case inserter gets moved out of the way, and then remove the guide for the case inserter, and then drop in the new one. Next, we need to actually remove the priming assembly so that we can empty the primers and also change out the priming disc and tube so that we can run small pistol primers instead of our large pistol primers. So we've got 2 bolts here, and we're going to unsnug those with the Allen key and then remove them by hand. You might need to use the Allen key on this one since it's recessed slightly until it comes up enough to loosen by hand. And these 2 nuts are what secure the priming assembly down to the subplate. One nice thing about the Dillon is that you can remove this whole assembly and it will leave a few primers down there on the subplate, but they will not spill out of the bottom of the assembly since they're held in place by the bottom plate.